So I do curse a lot in this one. So if you don't want to watch, go ahead and watch some other videos. Thank you for watching. Hi, my name is Alicia, and if this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. I do have a few notes for this one, but this one's going to mostly be off the top of my head. So, how to lovingly detach. Inspired by Nijiama Smalls, and sorry if I said your name wrong. So this is her, one of the best emails I've ever seen. Love with detachment. One of the most freeing principles I have learned is to love with detachment, detached love. I wish I would have had this at like 10 years old. Damn, this would have been helpful. If only I had learned this principle a lot earlier in my life, it would have prevented a lot of grief and heartache. Agreed. So, okay, what the hell? Anyway, along with that, the things that I also attach with this is not caring about what other people think. Just stop letting them take up rent in your mind, because more than likely you're not taking up rent in theirs. I also think you just should live your life, because people are going to talk about you regardless of what you do. So don't care about what people think. Let them talk. So anyways, let's just continue on with what she's saying. And there go my notes. Let me grab those before they go away. Got them. It's kind of windy out here today, so I'm going to have to sit this down right here. With what? Okay, anyways. Here is why love with detachment is important. Often, when we are in relationships, we assign a title, and along with the title comes our expectations of how that person is supposed to behave or perform. This is where the drama comes to play, because sometimes a person doesn't take, this is where the drama comes into play, because sometimes a person doesn't have the same expectations. So the sun is kind of in my eyes, my bad. I'm going to be messing this up a lot. Take, for example, a husband may assume that his wife should prepare a home-cooked meal every night, never take girls' trips, and tend to the house. The wife, on the other hand, may not share the same beliefs about her role, and this is where friction is created. There are also times when a person who holds a title is simply unable to perform the expectations assigned to that role. In my case, she just puts in her example here. I have family members suffering from substance addiction and friends coping with severe mental health disorders who can't meet common expectations of their role. This caused me some heartache until I learned about detached love and how powerful it is. Here's the key to detached love. Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is essential to detached love. Boundaries will protect our hearts and our resources. For example, you may decide not to have long conversations with them, or to keep conversations at surface level. So I come from a big family, and I've kind of noticed, like, over the years, when a lot of people in my family passed away, a lot of the extended relatives didn't reach out, and I think sometimes, like, they think that we have it together, and then other times I would reach out to other relatives and they didn't respond back. And I think sometimes people do that to protect themselves, because they already got issues, problems, maybe they've healed from stuff, and they just don't want to reopen those wounds again. They feel like, if I talk to you about that again, then it'll cause me so much pain that I'll go back in a downward spiral, and I don't want to take it on. So I think a lot of times, especially in my humongous family, I've sort of seen, like, people not respond, people don't call back, and I've just learned just to accept it. You know, they just don't want to show up, don't care to show up, and maybe just don't know how to. And I know for me personally, like, I've been betrayed, burned, and backstabbed so many times that I generally don't trust easily. And instead of going, woe is me, playing victim, or feeling sorry for myself, I make adjustments. You know, hey, maybe I just need to stop expecting stuff from people altogether. Maybe I should stop expecting stuff from that particular person and just see things for what it is, not for what I want it to be. And that's been really helpful. Let go of expectations. Oh, this is the best one on the list. Expect nothing from them. where in the fuck was this when I was younger? Oh my goodness, I would have loved this advice in my younger years. Do not expect them to attend Thanksgiving dinner. Do not expect them to pay you back the money they owe you from 1992. And do not expect them to apologize or call you often. This prevents you from getting hurt, and when they do show up, it's a pleasant surprise. That is the best one on her list. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, again, I've had a lot of people in my life pass away from the ages of 19 to 34, and I stopped expecting people to show up because I've had people disappear on me, stop returning phone calls. They would kind of avoid me, and I'm like, maybe I'm expecting too much from others. And so I adjusted my boundaries. I even got to the point where when people pass away, I don't even post about it on social media anymore. I've had a couple of people say, well, how come you're expecting us to help you in the first place? Okay, my bad. Because they tell you when people pass away, like, you're supposed to be able to reach out to people and get proper support. And I feel like in a lot of times in my life, I didn't get the proper support, but at the same time, I didn't like bitch about it. I just found different ways of handling it. Like, I would honor that person's memory. Like, for example, I've had a lot of friends pass away in suicide, car crashes, and health issues and other things. But on their birthdays and on like anniversaries, I go volunteer. I honor their memory and their legacy, but I really don't talk about it on Facebook anymore. I don't make a post about it because when you get to the 5, 10, 15 year mark, people just kind of want you to move on. They don't want you to talk about it anymore. It's like, bitch, shut up, stop talking about it. It's painful. That's a painful thing. And so instead of noise, motorcycle. Instead of talking about it on social media or expecting a certain person to respond a certain way nowadays, I try to find my own ways to honor that person. If I have a person in my life who's genuinely concerned, I might open up, I might not. It just depends on how much I trust them. But it was just kind of one of those situations where, hey, I'm either going to figure it out or I'm not. Respond in new ways. Instead of taking things personally, just accept that this is where they are in life. This doesn't mean you put up with disrespect, but instead you are allowing them to be who they want to be without it causing you harm. Yes. I think a big part of her list that's very, 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 very true. Stop expecting more out of people than what they can give or provide. Just stop. They obviously can't show up, won't show up. You call them twice and they won't return your phone calls. Bitch, they don't care about you. They don't care enough about you to call you back. Read the writing on the wall. And so basically that's just how I started seeing it. Instead of getting my feelings hurt, because I have to be honest, like the first friend that passed away from suicide, my first friend that passed away from a car crash, it was really hard. I wasn't sure how to handle it. You gotta understand something, I'm the only child. Wasn't sure how to deal with it. I was taking on like a bunch of different things, and I felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders, and I probably could have used a supporting ear. But then I started to realize a common thing and a common like trend. People just kept disappearing, and maybe by like the third, fourth, fifth time, and the multiple times that my family members have passed away, instead of expecting like a friend to reach out, I kind of do things for my own self-care. Like, for instance, I decide to take my healing into my own hands, my destiny into my own hands. Instead of expecting a friend who might care, might not care to reach out, just do things for yourself. You know, take a nature walk, spend time with animals, do yoga, meditate, listen to your favorite mantra, but don't rely on outside sources, because clearly when you expect things from others, a lot of times you're going to disappoint you. And so this is kind of one of the reasons why I stopped pouring into so many cups. I stopped being the go-to to the people I can't go to. And I've really just changed my whole persona about that stuff. And this one's very good. Do not provide unsolicited advice. I wish people from my old parishes would understand this one, because a lot of people that I knew and kind of still know from my past, and people that know me from my church past, you know, my parishes can be really judgmental and really like, we know about you and we know more about your life than you do, and you need to do this because we think that this is best for you. No, you don't know what's best for me. Fuck off. I know what's best for me. I'm gonna do things the way I want to. Like, you're gonna do things the way you want to. And I do not provide advice unless asked. I don't care if I'm smarter or better on someone in a situation. I don't offer advice unless they ask me. Sometimes they just want to be listened to. And what she says here is, providing advice requires an investment of your time and energy. It also invests you in their outcomes. Do not tell them what they should or shouldn't do. Don't obsess or work hard to solve their problems. Let them figure out things for themselves. Please understand that detached love is freedom. By detaching, you are allowing them the freedom to be who they want to be and to make their own choices. You are protecting your peace and sanity while still loving the person. Not only are you setting them free, but you're also freeing yourself from allowing them to hold you emotionally hostage. Nijiama Smalls, thank you. I love that list. I have it, starred in my email. It's amazing. In fact, to finish off, I'm going to go ahead and read a response, because I leave a bunch of YouTube comments on YouTube. She replied to something I said on YouTube. And here's my response. Hey twin. I had to put a few guys back in the friend zone too. I had to remind them that I'm not the one, the other woman, or the option you decide to flock to when you've been with everyone else. My path, my peace, my happiness is number one, and I won't deal with anything I don't have to. Nowadays, I just keep it for real, and not everyone wants to hear it, but I say it instead of beating around the bush. On the friend front, I just read the writing on the wall. When they didn't check on me the same way I checked on them, I figured they just didn't care. I wasn't asking them to spend every waking moment with me either. I'm low maintenance and an independent sort. I wasn't asking to be center of attention or to make everything about me. I would just appreciate a simple text saying, hey, I'm thinking of you. I get it that grief is scary and death is scary, but my so-called friends make me feel more alone. I fear having the wrong company nowadays more than being solo. Solitude don't spread rumors or gossip on you or abandon you and throw you away like trash. One day I woke up different. I decided to take ownership of my own healing and destiny. I learned the hard way that I cannot depend or rely on the people I trusted. And so I'm just in a different mode nowadays, and I'll talk about this in later videos. I just decided to just leave most folk alone and just accept them for who they are and be responsible for myself. And I don't expect people to show up for me or care, and if they care, great, like, I'm happy that you're here, but if they don't show up, my feelings won't be hurt. And one more finishing note, because this is getting long and this is going to kind of be put in other videos. When I do have the hard conversations, I think sometimes with friendships and death and grief, eliminating gossip, as she said in another email. This is like her tips from another email. Thank you, Nijiama Smalls. Eliminating gossip, avoiding assumptions, having the hard conversations up front. And we also must normalize having hard conversations no matter how uncomfortable they can be. So I got to get going. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.